Today, a number of communities across the U.S. are celebrating Juneteenth, officially declared a federal holiday back in 2021 by President Biden. It is the nation's newest holiday. It dates back to June 19th, 1865. Some 2,000 Union troops arriving in Galveston, Texas, the Army announcing that more than 250,000 enslaved people were finally free by executive decree. Let's bring in Alliah Agostini. Alliah, you wrote a book titled The Juneteenth Story, celebrating the end of slavery in the United States. Why is this day so important?
This day is so important because it's truly emblematic of what should be the American ideal, freedom for all. So as you mentioned, Juneteenth celebrates the end of slavery in the United States when enslaved Texans found out they are free. And it's something that's important for all Americans to make sure that they're celebrating today and every day, especially in these weeks leading up to 4th of July.
Talk about why it took a lot longer for slaves in Texas to actually recognize or be recognized as free people.
That's a great question. So many people think that it took so long for them to learn that they were free because we didn't have text messages and we didn't have Snapchat back then. But the reality is the information had been shared down in Texas right around the time of the Emancipation Proclamation, in fact. So there's records that the news that all enslaved people in the Confederacy were free had been shared in Texas. However, that information was deliberately kept from enslavers who, of course, needed their crops to be continued to be harvested and sold. The reality is most of the action of the Civil War was taking place far away from Texas. So the Union troops that you mentioned were far away from the enslaved people down there and couldn't really enforce their freedom. So even if they knew about it, their freedom couldn't really be enforced until General Gordon Granger and his troops came down to really kind of put that into effect.
There are a lot of people with varying ideas as to why we need to celebrate Juneteenth. A lot of communities don't even know what Juneteenth is, but they might see a display at the store, a commercial representation of an idea or some coloring books, or maybe your book is on the shelf. When I was growing up, you didn't see Juneteenth celebrations in my community or anywhere near it, but in like Oakland, California, you might see Juneteenth celebrations or a push for that. I have a friend who's from the South, from Georgia. She says, I don't understand what the big deal is. We've been doing Juneteenth celebrations forever. So how are modern day Juneteenth celebrations marked and markedly different than those in the past?
Yeah, so Juneteenth celebrations of the past, so some of the very first ones, were almost a little bit more similar to church services in some cases, because for some people that were celebrating at Juneteenth at that time, they had been enslaved and they had been through the trauma of slavery. So some of them kind of marked it with more of a more reserved remembrance of the time. But then they started to evolve into more of festivals, and people would dress up in their very best clothes. I mean, some of the pictures I saw when I was doing research showed people in top hats with really gorgeous dresses on and suits. But they would do a lot of things, like they would barbecue, which we actually continue to do today. They'd play baseball, which is a little bit less popular in Juneteenth celebrations, but still a very popular game. But they would have, more of kind of like a church barbecue as time went on. But today, for instance, I'm from Buffalo, New York, where we've been celebrating Juneteenth since 1976. Juneteenth celebrations are more of a huge festival, as I'm seeing the pictures. It's very reminiscent of what I remember Juneteenth being. We had huge parades, and parades, of course, wound up becoming something of Juneteenth, of course, throughout the 1900s. I mean, the parade that I remember growing up was about 4 hours long, and it still continues to be that in our celebration. We have Underground Railroad tours. There are lots and lots of vendors selling all types of things. Actually, I got this necklace from my Juneteenth celebration last year. So it's really just a really giant festival, and it kind of it's taken on new life in all the different cities where it's currently celebrated too. So each individual festival has a little bit of flavor, its own flavor.
Well, Alliah Agostini, we appreciate it. Thank you for sharing a piece of American history with us, and your book is going to be available wherever books are sold. Give us the title one more time.
Sure. It's The Juneteenth Story, celebrating the end of slavery in the United States.
All right, Alliah, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.